It's simple time and this is Chef Tato and today gagawa tayo ng isang recipe na pwedeng pang negosyo. Let's start cooking!
Simple, luto na ha.
This recipe is part of the Simple Cookbook series where we try to make cooking as simple as ABC and ang gagawin natin ngayon ay empanada. So, pwede to siyang fried at pwede din itong baked. Pero ako mas gusto ko yung fried kasi mas malasa siya. And unang-una natin gagawin ay kanyang crust. Ito siya, very crisp, very nice recipe to. So, we have here flour, 1.5 cups of flour. Yan. 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar, confectionery sugar, and salt. So, 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So, what I have here, I have 2 kinds of fat. No? So, meron akong butter. I'm using 4 tablespoons of butter. Yan, that's around 1/4 cup of butter. Yan. And I will also add 1/4 cup of UFC Golden Fiesta Canola Oil. Yan. So, ito yung aking mixture. Number 2, i-combine ko and I will just use my fork to mash. So, the butter will give it a very nice, tasty flavor. And the canola oil will help us get a very crisp finish, no, when we fry it. And that's ready. Look at that. Yan. And I will add 1 egg, lightly beaten. Yan. Yan. Add it here. Yan. And my secret ingredient, maniwala kayo sa hindi, ito yung secret ingredient ko sa aking, empanada crust. And you combine 2 tablespoons of ice cold water with our vinegar. Of course, we are using Datu Puti Vinegar. Suka will actually strengthen the gluten in my flour. So, kaya pag minamasa ko, when sinishape ko siya, hindi siya madaling mapunit, no? So, hindi lang ako nagpapakyut ng naglalagay ng suka sa aking crust. I'm using it to be able to achieve a result, which is a tougher crust so that when I try to shape it later on, hindi ako mahirapan. So, be sure your hands are clean and you just knead it together. Ganyan, no? Shape it. So, ito siya. This is halos half a recipe. So, this one will make around 12 pieces of our empanadas, no? Medyo medium-sized empanadas. And look at that, no? Our flour has come together. Our dough has come together. And what we will do here is that I will just cover this up with a piece of damp cloth. Yan. And I will leave it in the chiller for at least 30 minutes or 1 hour, no? I will let that rest. And nilipat ko na sa kabilang side ang aking mga ingredients kasi sisimulan na natin yung ating filling. So, if you look at the book, if you're watching this based on the book, makikita mo na it's giniling 3 ways. So, the first one is the Picadillo, just a plain giniling na inulam natin. Pangalawa natin is torta. And the third is empanada. So, gigisa lang natin. So, ito siya. It's just a base recipe. You can become flexible in terms of ano yung gusto mong ingredients, no? So, it's very basic. Nakita mo yung recipe natin. Very basic, very simple. Saute lang natin ating onions and garlic. Just to start off building flavors. So, ito siya, I remember, yung sa amin pag may party, may fiesta, nag-order kami ng empanada and all the empanada always kasama siyang fresh lumpia. Yun ang partner niya. Ako, yung gusto ko talaga sa empanada, yung crust is very crispy. Hindi siya doughy, hindi malatinapay. My onions and garlic until it's tender. I will just season this with a little salt para lumabas pa yung kanyang flavor. And I will add my giniling. Of course, I'm using pork, ground pork from Fresh Options. Yan. May konting fat. Gusto ko talaga na may konting fat yung aking giniling para it's tastier, no? And I will just add my carrots kasi the carrots also take some time to cook. And my raisins para ma-infuse yung sweetness. Konting tamis sa ating empanada. Do you like that? Some people don't like the raisins in their empanada or their giniling. We'll just let that sit. And now what we will do is we will just season with, of course, soy sauce. Yan. So, I'm using 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. Gives it a nice color as well. And I will add my potatoes next. Yan. And, of course, my red bell peppers. Eto pa lang, masarap na siya, no? Very simple, very straightforward kasi yung timpla natin, very basic lang. Soy sauce lang yung gamit natin. Let that cook. Dried oregano. Yan, may konting landi lang sa lasa. If you don't want to put, you don't have to. Let that simmer. We just have to wait for our, potatoes to cook. Yung masarap yung actually yung recipe natin ng empanada crust, you can shape it into samosas and you just make like a curry, no? You add curry to our recipe and parang na siyang curry puffs. Yan. You can use chicken, you can use beef, you can use all vegetables. Yan. And I think my potatoes are almost done. And I will add now my green peas. Yan. So, yung crust ko can make around 12 pieces of empanadas. And my meat here can make 24. So, dapat double yung recipe mo. Add pepper towards the end. And konting luto na lang to. Ang hinahabol na lang natin yung tenderness ng ating patatas. So, very important dito yung ating liquid. Mag-evaporate siya, no? Maubos yung liquid natin because we don't want our, empanada to be soggy. So, yan. Just let that cook until medyo manuyot siya ng konti yung ating giniling. And meron ako ditong hard-boiled eggs. Luto na yung ating filling ng ating empanada. And I'm just gonna add it to my chopped eggs. Yan. And of course, toss. Yan. So, we let that cool. That's very important. We let that cool before we start working on our empanada crust. Yan, and medyo chilled na yung ating palaman ng konti. And what I'm going to do here is, of course, I'm going to heat up my pan with oil and I'm using Golden Fiesta Canola Oil. Yan. Why canola oil? Because canola oil has a higher burning temperature. So, nagiging mas crisp at hindi nangingitim yung niluluto kong empanada. Yan. Medyo madami kasi kailangan deep fry siya. Yan. So, I'll just fill it around 1/3 deep, no? 1/3 of the pan deep. And I'll begin to heat up my pan. Medyo chilled na yung aking dough. Very nice, very relaxed. And it's easy to handle. So, I'll just knead it. Ano yung knead? Hihilutin ko ng konti. Yan. And I'll just flour my board para hindi siya dumikit. Don't keep on adding more flour and more flour. Kasi nangyayari dyan, the flour will go into the dough, then magiging mas matigas siya. No? We don't want our, dough to be overly tough. Gusto natin crisp lang siya. No? Pero hindi siya matigas. And yung gagawin natin dito, i-divide na natin diretso yung ating empanada dough. So, we're going to roll it out to, let's say, 12 inches. Estimate lang natin 12 inches, ha. And with a knife, divide natin. So, dapat 6 on each side. So, we look for the, yan, even, and dapat 3. Yan. So, depende sa size ng gusto mo. Yan. So, we have 12. We form it into balls. 1. So, ito ha, as I told you, yung dough natin kulang sa ating palaman, lalo na dinagdagan ko pa siya ng egg. No? So, for this recipe natin ng giniling, you will be able to make around 24 to 36 pieces. Yan. Tama, 12, di ba? Yan. So, walang sayang yung dough natin, of course. Flour our board again. And I will roll out a piece. No? Just flatten it with my palm of my hands and roll it out. Yung sistema natin. Gentle lang. Move it. Sabayin tayong isa. Press down the sides, of course. And we get our empanada filling. Ating giniling. Add it to the center. No? One side. Medyo madami. Buwasan natin. Look at that, ha. Hindi masyadong buhaghag yung aking empanada filling because, of course, meron akong, what did I add earlier? I added the chopped egg. So, yung egg yolk nagiging thickener ko. So, just the tip of my finger, I'm just going to wet the edges. Not too wet, of course, no? Ayaw natin masyadong wet. Yan. And we fold. Fold. And press down. No? And with the fork, we just use our fork and we just, press it down. Yan. And para even siya, gugupitin lang natin yung edges para, of course, maganda yung ating empanada. Okay, and we fry our empanadas. And of course, you have to drop it. When you drop your empanadas, dapat away from you, no? Hindi yung just drop it. So, palayo sa'yo yung pag-drop mo ng empanada para you don't splatter the oil to your face. Yan. Dapat hindi sobrang init ng oil mo para hindi mag-overcook agad, hindi masunog, no? So, you want it to be very nice, golden color. Pag dahan-dahan mo niluluto yung empanada mo, mangyayari, mas magiging crispy siya, no? Because you get to dehydrate the crust. Nice, no? Ito, luto na. Tabi na natin siya. Look at that. And we have more to make, but at least nakita nyo na kung paano gawin yung ating empanada. And this crust is really very crispy. Yan. Yan. And luto na yung, of course, ang ating empanada. Arrange natin sa ating board para maganda siya tignan. Yan. Yan. Very nice. Pieces of our empanada. And very simple to do. Okay? Try this at home, of course. Pwede mo din gawin, i-fry mo na siya ng ganito. And to serve, i-refry mo, maging super crispy siya. Kaya try this at home. Yung mga gusto magnegosyo, try our recipe, of course. And enjoy it with your family. Here it is, our version of empanada. You can change the fillings depending on your feelings. Kaya, eto na. Try nyo and enjoy it with your family. Pwede din pang negosyo. Kaya tandaan nyo, kahit sino kaya magluto, basta simple! Mga ka-simple, remember, loving is sharing. Kaya share this video and like nyo na rin. Kain mo na ako. Bye!